ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। Welcome to the Amrit Sindhu Southern Division, Vibhav. We have been discussing the first levy, and it has been long discussion which we have gone through. We are just very close to completing the Vibhav section. Vibhav is one of the longest sections in the entire Southern Division among the five waves. The next will be Stahi Bhav and then Vebhichari Bhav. Second big sections, but they are not as big as Vibhav. So we have completed the discussion of the qualities of Krishna, then further, the four personalities, and then the further eight auspicious qualities. And then yesterday, we just started our discussion on the Ashray Alamban, the Ashray Alamban. So we have seen all this up till now, and now we have begun what is Ashray. And these are the topics in Ashray, and then the last topic will be Deepan. So we'll be studying the Ashray Alamban, the Sadhaka. In the Sadhaka, there are two types. There's one type, Bhava Bhakta, and the Siddha, the Prema Bhaktas. And the example will be given of Bilva Mangal Thakur. Then within the Siddha, there are the Nitya Siddha and Samprapti. Samprapti means Siddhas, those who have attained Siddhi by practicing, sadhana, but they have attained Siddhi, and within Siddhi, they are the Samprapta. And there are the Sadhana Siddh in this and the Kripa Siddha. And within this attained perfection through sadhana, this is Markandeya Rishi, through Bali Maharaj. So this is what we will be studying maybe today and tomorrow. We saw yesterday, here Krishna Bhakta means a Bhava Bhakta. Please remember. So this terminology you have to understand. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shant. So Nishkam means he's a pure devotee. So this was made yesterday clear, because only at the stage of bhava is the stahi bhav, along with the other bhavas combine and give rise to rasas. So then only there is a question of Ashray, Alamban. And Prabhupada makes it very clear in his definition. And then we are going to now discuss further what, you know, Rup Goswami is to say in 274. Now, this is very important and carefully one has to study and understand. Yo Satyavakya Ityadya Riyamana Itya Antima Guna Proktah Krishna Asya Bhakteshu Te Vigyeya Manishibi. The learned understand Vigyeya Manishibi that all the qualities of Krishna from telling to the truth, 2124, to bashfulness, 2127. Yo Satyavakya it ade Riyamana it Antima Guna are also present in the devotees of Krishna. Prokta Krishna Asya Bhakteshu Te. Now, devotees of Krishna, again, let us try to understand who are these devotees of Krishna. What does here again devotees of Krishna mean? Who will answer this? What does it exactly mean, devotees of Krishna? Anyone? Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, bro, it is
Yes,
referring to Bhava Bhaktas.
yes, it is referring to Bhava Bhaktas. There is no doubt about it. So these qualities are present in the devotees of Krishna means those are present in the Bhava Bhaktas. But definitely also present in those who are practicing Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti. Because if you remember a subtopic which we had discussed, you know, in the beginning of our classes, is that those who are practicing Uttama Bhakti, within Uttama Bhakti is Sadhana Bhakti and Sadhya Bhakti. Within Sadhana is Vaidhi Sadhana and Raganuga Sadhana. Within Sadhya is Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. So there is Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. When we say Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, we mean Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti, Shuddha Bhava Bhakti, Shuddha Prema Bhakti. So definitely one who is practicing Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti, the two qualities of Uttama Bhakti characteristics is Kleshagni and Shubhada. All the auspicious qualities start manifesting. So if these qualities are not manifested in the devotee, that means his bhakti, what he is practicing is not Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti, it is Bhakti or Mishra Bhakti. So that is the conclusion. So definitely they are present in a Bhava Bhakta, who is a Shuddha Bhava Bhakta, but also they are present in one who is practicing also Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti. That we should remember. Now, when it comes to Rasa, then he has to be a Bhava Bhakta. So that's why these qualities start manifesting when one takes up to Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti because there is Shubha. And these qualities keep on increasing. And at the end of Sadhana Bhakti at Asakti and the beginning of Bhava stages, he is qualified for Rasa. So that is why Krishna Alam Ashraya is being discussed. So we have discussed that one entire class, if you remember. So we will not go into that once again. But I think the point is very, very clear. And there is no doubt about it to the devotees. I think devotees also attended that class. So that's what I have wanted to say about this, you know. Now, the next verse. Te sadhakascha siddhascha dvividha parikirtita. The devotees are said to be of two types. Dvividha parikirtita. The devotees means bhaktas. Bhaktas means sadhakas. Sadhakas means those who are having bhava bhakti. Practitioners, sadhakas, and perfected siddhas. A bhava bhakta is also called as a practitioner because he still not attained perfection because there are some contamination still. So that's why he's still classified as sadhaka. But he is not like a Vaidhi sadhaka. Please remember that. He is not like a Vaidhi sadhaka. Okay. So two types, sadhaka, practitioners, Siddha, perfected. Okay, Jeev Goswami. The difference is pointed out in order to discuss their particular natures. So, why this difference? Because we can understand their particular natures. That's it, one point commentary. Prabhupada in his chapter 25, Devotees of Krishna. So, Prabhupada now here begins a new chapter, which is chapter 25. Now, let's go to Nectar of Devotion. And you can see here further traits of Krishna we studied. Now, Prabhupada begins his chapter 25. And we already started. A person who is always absorbed in Krishna consciousness is called as a devotee of Krishna. He's a Krishna Bhakta. And then the next verse, all the qualities of Krishna are present. So that also Prabhupada says. And they are classified into two groups. So that is what is this verse being spoken now. Srila Rupa Goswami says that all the transcendental qualities discussed previously are also found in the devotees of Krishna. The devotees of Krishna can be classified into two groups. Those who are cultivating devotional service in order to enter into transcendental kingdom. These are sadhakas, and those who are already in the perfectional stage of devotional service. These are the siddhas. Okay. Up to here, any questions, any clarification anyone has? Any doubts? Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, there Siddha refers to Nitya Siddha or those who have perfected after Bhava. It is referring both.
Their siddhas here refers to premi bhaktas who have attained prema, and sadhakas refers to those who are having bhava bhakti. That now Rupa Goswami will make it more clear as we go ahead.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions anyone has? Any other clarifications? Okay. Okay, let us go now to the further. Now, devotee as ashray, there is A type by one attainment. By attainment, sadhaka and siddha, bhava bhakta and prema bhakta. So now we are going to discuss sadhaka, bhava bhakta. Okay. Tatra sadhaka उत्पन्न रतय सम्यन नैर्विघ्नम अनुपागता कृष्ण साक्षात कृतो योग्या साधका परिकीर्तिता. Practitioners sadhaka, those sadhaka parikirtita who have developed rati for Krishna. Utpanna rataya samyan, they have developed rati. Rati is bhava, please remember, but have not completely extinguished the anarthas. Nirvignyam anupagata. Now, especially the Dushkratutta anartha, Sukratutta anartha, and Bhakti Utta anartha are destroyed with the stage in Nishta, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. But the Aparadutta anarthas remain even in the Bhava stage. So, Nirvigna has not completely happened. And who are qualified to see Krishna directly. Krishna Sakshat Krito Yogya. Please remember, he is not an ordinary sadhaka. At the stage of bhava, he is qualified to take darshan of Krishna, and Krishna might give darshan to him. Krishna Sakshat Krito Yogya. He is Yogya, who is qualified to see Krishna directly. So there are three things which I mentioned. Utpanna Rataha, Rataya. He is attained Rati, but still there is no Nirvigna Anupagata. Complete extinguishing of the anarthas has not yet happened. And the third thing is, he is qualified to see Krishna. Okay. Shrishti Gupta Mataji, you have a question? No, Prabhuji, your hand was raised.
Oh, sorry, by mistake.
Okay. Yes. Okay, now let's go to the commentary here. There is a short note. This term sadhaka should not be confused with sadhana bhakti, which ends with the appearance of rati, according to the definitions given in the Eastern section. So you should not confuse this term sadhaka with, one who's practicing sadhana, Vaidhi sadhaka. No, this is, this is different. Here, sadhaka means one who has attained bhava. This is the description of bhava bhakta, who may be considered a sadhaka because he is not completely pure. So this sadhaka is a definition of a bhava bhakta who has not become completely pure, because there are, I mentioned, small traces of aparadha still there. But you can imagine he's, qualified to see Krishna. Krishna Sakshat Krito Yogya. Now, why the Bhava Bhakta is a sadhaka is discussed by Vishwanath in his commentary to 121. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Eastern Division 1, second wave, which is called as Sadhana Bhakti, the first verse itself, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur discusses why he's not carried as a Siddha, because, he still has, uh, traces of contamination. So that's why there is a distinction between a Bhava Bhakta and a Prema Bhakta. Okay. In verse 277, that is the next verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, here, next verse, Rup Goswami has quoted the definition of the Madhyam Adhikari in relation to this sadhaka of rati. Now, kindly hear very carefully and try to understand this. I'll come to this. I'll clarify this point. It would seem that the term covers a wide range of devotees, with the person who has attained rati at the top. Now, this is actually the first proof, not the second proof, because that first is a definition. This is proof 1. I don't know why this has become proof 2. Now, here is the definition, praman given of a sadhaka who has attained bhava bhakti. A sadhaka who has attained bhava bhakti. And the praman is given of Bhagavatam definition of Madhyamadikari. Ishvare tad adineshu bhalishu dvishatsu cha prema maitri kripopeksha yah karoti samadhyama. An intermediate or the second class devotee called Madhyamadikari, Samadhyama, offers his love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvare Prem. So please remember, this Madhyamadikari has prema. He has developed prema for the Lord. And that prema for the Lord is manifested in his love for his devotees. Tad adineshu maitri, that prema manifests as friendship, is a sincere friend of all the devotees of the Lord. And that prema for the Lord, Ishvara prema, manifest as Balishu Kripa, shows mercy to the ignorant people who are innocent, and disregards those who are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishyatsu cha upeksha yah karoti. So, the Madhyam Adhikari here, according to Bhagavatam, please hear very carefully. The Madhyam Adhikari definition of, uh, Bhagavatam is one who has prema for the Lord, and that prema manifests as friendship with devotees, as compassion to the innocent, and being neutral, upeksha, or neglect for those who are envious. And that neglect is also a sign of love. Now, hear very carefully and try to understand. In the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Eastern Division, after Rupa Goswami defines sadhana bhakti, then he speaks about who is having he defines Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, then Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And then he goes to define who is qualified to practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And there he says Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. So there Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama Adhikaris, they are from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu perspective of candidates who are qualified to practice Shuddha Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. They are also like from Kanishta, you have to at least come to the Madhyam Adhikari platform as per Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu definition, because a Madhyam Adhikari definition is based on faith and knowledge. Here it is based on love, prem. It is based on prem and vision and consciousness. His consciousness is very elevated. So that Madhyam Adhikari in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu definition, who has developed that he's Shraddhavan and he's Shastra Anipuna, but he understands Shastra, he is further qualified to enter into Bhakti school. Like somebody in the joining the IIT college, maybe he has to clear 2-level exams, the first level and the second level. I'm just giving an example. So the second level, he's more qualified now to enter the college. So that person is also called as a Madhyam Adhikari who is now qualified to practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. But this Madhyam Adhikari here is a sadhaka, but has attained bhava. He has attained bhava. He has attained bhava. In verse 277, Rupa Goswami has quoted the definition of Madhyam Adhikari in relation to this sadhaka of Rati because he has attained bhava. So the Madhyam Adhikari here, according to Bhagavatam, is a Madhyam Adhikari who has attained bhava. And the Madhyam Adhikari, according to Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, he is qualified now to practice Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti, Shuddha Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, I should say. So the Madhyama definition is a very wide range, right from, it covers a wide range of devotees with a person who has attained Rati. So Madhyama is one who has developed pure faith. He is having pure Shraddha and he is now qualified to practice Shuddha Sadhana. So all are falling in that wide range. So that is the understanding. So this is the Praman being given. I hope this is clear. Any questions you have on what we discussed? It is a little difficult to digest for those who are hearing this first time, but those who have studied Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Eastern Division, especially that's what I've been telling the opponents, please regularly start studying the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Eastern Division once, twice, and then slowly you will understand this subject more clearly. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It is clear that this example from Srimad Bhagavatam point of view, this Madhyama Adhikari is indicating Bhava Bhakta. But my question is, Prabhu,
Bhava Bhakta.
how
He is a Madhyama, he is a Bhagavad.
Yes, but how he is putting
Madhyama Adhikari Bhagavad.
But how he is put in sadhaka category? That is my question.
Pardon?
How he is put in sadhaka category? That is confusing. How he is in sadhaka category?
I mentioned that he is still considered as a sadhaka and not a siddha because there is still nirvigna upagataha. Still there is a trace of contamination in the form of apradut anarthas. The trace of contaminations are there. He is still not purified completely. But he is Krishna, Sakshat Yoga. Krishna, he is Sakshat qualified to take darshan of Krishna. There is trace of contamination, but that doesn't stop his obstruction of having the vision of Krishna. And Krishna gives darshan to such a sadhaka who is attained Bhava Bhakti. So that sadhaka is different from the sadhaka who is just taken up to practice of bhakti. That is what we should understand. Is it clear?
Right. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Chakra Rama Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, no Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Yes.
at Rasa stage, we are saying that devotees in a
At
Bhava
Bhava
Bhakta.
stage. At Bhava stage.
Bhava- ah. At the same time, I read in between the lines, the near purport, at Bhava Bhakta, the devotee is impure. He's not pure. How could it be possible?
He's not like impure.
He's not pure.
He is pure. His purity is like, he's like, maybe there are 1-2% trace of contamination, like gold,
Okay.
you know. Gold, is pure, but maybe, when you pass through the fire, there might be some traces of 1 or 2% contamination, something like that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions anyone has? Okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, Prabhupada clarifies this. Let us now. Okay, we have gone through. Then there's another proof, the second proof. सिक्ताप्यश्रु जलोत्कर्णे भगवत वार्ता नदी जन्मना भवाग्निहेतिर् इति ते धीमन् अलम चिन्तया हृद्व्योमने अमृतस्पृहा हर कृपा वृष्टे स्फुटं लक्ष्यते नेदिष्ट ऋतुरोमताण्डव भरात् कृष्णाम्बुदस्योद्गमः. I think this is again from the Bhagavatam. Do not worry. Te divan alam chintaya, that after you have been drenched in tears, sikta apya ashru jalot karne, karna, arising from the river of the pastimes of the Lord, Bhagavat Vata Nadi Janma, you will remain in the flame of suffering from the world. Bhavagni hetir iti. When all the hairs on your limbs dances, Nedishta Pruturomatana Bharat, then you will see very near Lakshate rising in the sky of our heart, Ridvyomne Sputam, the cloud of Krishna Ambudas Udgama, full of shower of mercy, Kripa Vrishte, which is sort of the desire for liberation. Amrita Spruha Paras. Now, this is again a person who is at Bhava Bhakti, because you can see all the Ashtasattvic vikars are manifested. There is, tears, he's drenched in tears, and and then in the sky of his heart, he's able to actually, internally, he's able to see the vision of Krishna by Krishna's mercy. And he is what? Moksha Labhratit. He doesn't have any desire for liberation, because that is also a symptom of Bhava. Let's see the commentary of Jiva Goswami. In expectation of the removal of the causes of obstacles mentioned previously, the author cites this. So I mentioned there are some obstacles, and obstacles are mentioned here. Heti means flame. Prutu Roma means hairs and also fish. Fish. Why fish? Let us see. Thus, there is another meaning to the last part of the verse. When the fish begins to dance excessively, one can understand that soon a black cloud will appear in the sky with a shower of mercy, which will extinguish the desire for water. So that's why fish is being mentioned. Blackfish. Not blackfish, just a fish. On this. A person attaining a state of attraction for Krishna, Rati or Bhava, who is not free from the material impasse. There are contaminations. But who is qualified himself to enter the kingdom of God is called a sadhaka. He is qualified to enter the kingdom of God. He's almost inside the college campus now. Only thing, the last interview he has to clear, and then he's inside the campus. Sadhaka means one who is cultivating devotion in Krishna consciousness. Description of such a devotee is found in the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 46 of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is this verse. 11 to 46. Prabhupada is mentioning that. 11 to 46. He said that it is said that a person who has unflinching faith in and love for the personality God, who is in friendship with devotees, who is very merciful to the ignorant, raising them to the standard of devotion, and who is uninterested in non-devotees, is considered to be situated in a position of cultivating devotional service. When one who shedding tears, now second quotation which Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami has given, the second praman. When one is found shedding tears by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, it is to be understood that the blazing fire of material existence will be extinguished by such watering. So when you start hearing Krishna Katha and tears start coming from your eyes continuously, and when you go back also, then also they start coming, then you should understand that Chaito Darpan Marjanam has happened and Bhava Mahadhavagni also has happened. When there is shivering of the body and the hairs of the body stand up, it is to be understood that the devotee is nearing perfection. An example of a sadhaka cultivating devotional service is Bilva Mangal Thakur. So this also Rupa Goswami in the next verse gives. Bilva Mangala Tulya Ye sadhakas te parikirtita. Those who are similar to Bilva Mangal Tulya Ye are known as sadhakas. Sadhakas te parikirtita. Now Bilva Mangal Thakur had attained Bhava Bhakti, and Krishna gave Sakshat Darshan to him. Although he was blind, Krishna, along with him traveled from Pandharpur to Vrindavan. And Krishna used to sit and hear his bhajans right in front of him. So that was, Krishna used to give him darshan. So that is the glory of Bilva Mangal Thakur. So, Bilva Mangal Thakur falls in this category of sadhakas who have attained Bhava Bhakti. Okay. Now we'll go to the next. By attainment, B, that is Prema Bhakta. Any questions up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, so let's go to now the next. Siddha Prema Bhaktas. Ata Siddha. Now again, Rup Goswami defines definition of Prema Bhakti given in Eastern Division, 4th wave, that is Prema Bhakti, 5th wave, sorry. Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, 4th wave. Because this is the definition of Prema Bhakti. Avigya Kila Klesha Sada Krishna Shrita Kriya Siddha Susanta Sukhaswad Parayana. Just a second. I don't know what this came up here. Those who experience no suffering at all. Avigyata, avigyata, akhila klesha. So there is akhila klesh. Avigya means to know. Avigya means they're not experiencing anything, any suffering. So a Bhava Bhakta is still experiencing some cases of suffering because of Aparadutta which are there. Who performs all actions while taking shelter of Krishna. Sada Krishna Shrita Kriya, and always taste the happiness of continuous prema. Santata prema sukaswada parayanam. Sandranand Visheshatma is one of the symptoms of prema bhakti. Shri Krishna Akarshani and Sananda. Saukasaswada parayana is that Sandranand Visheshatma are known as the perfected devotees. Siddhas. These are the siddhas. So this is the difference between sadhakas and siddhas. Sadhakas are bhava bhaktas, siddhas are prema bhakta. They have attained prema bhakti. This verse, the siddhas among the great devotees are shown with the words Ata Siddha. That's it. Okay, next verse. Samprapta Siddhaya Siddha Nitya Siddhas Cha Te Dvida. There are two types of perfected devotees. Siddha Te Dvida. Those who have attained perfection, Samprapta Siddhaya, and those who are eternally perfect. Nitya Siddhas Cha. So here again think I put under perfected devotees. They have attained perfection, samprapti. That means they have practiced sadhana bhakti, Shuddha sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti. They are bhava bhaktas, they are sadhakas. When they attain prema bhakti, they are siddhas. And then in siddhas, they are the one who have attained perfection by sadhana and attained siddhi. And those who are nitya siddhas. Tatra. So let's now go to samprapta siddhaya. Now, let us go to this map here. Back here. So we have now discussed sadhakas, bhava bhaktas, Bilva Mangal Thakur, and now siddha. These are bhava bhaktas, prema bhaktas. There are two categories, nitya siddha and samprapti. Within samprapti, now there are two types. Now that Rupa Goswami to deal with. Okay. I hope it is clear. Tatra. Oh, it is going here only. Tatra Kripaya Shasya Vida Sampraptasdaya. Those who have attained are two types. Again, in Samprapti, there are two types. Vida Samprapta Siddhaya. Those who have attained perfection by sadhana, sadhanai, and those who have attained perfection by mercy, Kripaya Shasya. So here, put it in the chart, Samprapti Siddhaya, Nitya Siddha. And here, within that, this is perfection by sadhana, perfection by mercy. Okay. Tatra sadhana siddha yatha trite. Now there is a proof given sadhana siddha. Yacha vrajante animisham rishabhanuvritya dhure yamahi upari na spahaniya shila bhraturmitha suyasa katananuraga eklavya Pulaki Kritanga. The example of sadhana siddha, tatra sadhana siddha from Yathatri. Persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy, Pulakangi Kritanga. Because there is, sometimes the color of the skin is red because of the hair standing on end, transformations which are happening in the body. Who breathe heavily and perspire. Vaiklavya Bhasma Kalaya. Hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God. Bhratur Mita Swayasha Katanuraga. Even though they do not care for meditation and other auxiliaries. Pure Yama, Yama, Niyama and all, they don't care for it. The kingdom of God is above the material universes. Upari na, and it is desired. Spraha Shita by Brahma and other movers. Yatte vrajanti animesham rishabha anuvritya. So Brahma and following him are the all great demigods. Yatava, another example. Ye bhakti prabha vishnuta कवलितः क्लेशोर्मय कुर्वते दृग्भातेऽपि गृह्णां कृतप्रणतिषु प्रायेण मोक्षादिषु हेम प्रसरोत्सव स्तवकितः स्वान्तान् प्रमोदाशुभिर्निर्धौतास्ततान् ततान्मुहुः पुल पुलकिनो ध्यानान् नमस्कुर्महे. I offer respects to the great devotees. Namaskurmahe Dhanyan. Dhyana ne Dhanyan. Dhanya hai, I say, great devotee. Who have destroyed all suffering by the power of bhakti. Ye bhakti prabha vishnuta kavalita klesh ormaya kurvate. Who usually prayana hate to glance upon drik pate api grinam, the four objects including liberation, moksha adishu, even though they offer respects to the devotees. Krita pranitishu, whose hearts are full of the bliss of strong prana. Tan prema prasarotsava stavakita swantan, whose faces are washed in tears of bliss. Pramodashubir, whose limbs are covered in goosebumps. Nirdhautasya tatan muhu pulakino. So here, these are all the prema bhaktas who by sadhana have attained perfection. Two examples. Using the word prayana usually indicates that sometimes those devotees may have desires for the four goals as follows. So here it is mentioned, that moksha adishu, they kick this in previous verse also it was mentioned, dure yamahi, and then they have, uh, they don't have any desire at all. But sometimes those devotees may have desires for the four goals. It is mentioned here. And that is mentioned in this verse. Sarvam bhakti yogena mad bhaktaye labate anjasa swargapavargam madham achit yadi vanchati. If some other kadachit yadi might be mad bhakta here means a pure devotee desires motion to heaven, liberation, or residence in my abode, Swarga, Apavarga, Madhama, he easily achieves. Labate Anjasa, such benedictions. Sarvam Mad Bhakti Yogena. So here it is a very confidential knowledge in the Uddhav Gita that if the devotee is pure, he is a prema bhakta, he is anya abhilashata shunyam. There is no bhukti kam nor mukti kam. He desires this Swarga, Bhukti Kam, Apavarga, Mukti Kam. And desiring the Lord's abode is also, in one sense, trying to become free from suffering. So here the Acharya has given explanation that this pure devotee wants to go to heaven so that he can preach in heaven. Like, Chitra the of Sankirtan. And sometimes out of deep compassion for the Gyanis who are liberated in Brahmajyoti, you would like to go preach, which is very difficult also. And sometimes you might go to, Madhama, Kunda also, and bring out the glories of Shyam Sundar Krishna. So like that, Kadachit Yadi Vanchati. Kadachit it is mentioned, is some or other. So that's the point. So usually they don't have desires, but sometimes these devotees may have a desire, but that is for some higher purpose. So that's the point. Okay, let's see what Prabhupada has to say on this. When a devotee is never tired of executing devotional service, Prabhupada is giving the definition of a Siddha devotee, a Prema Bhakta, and is always engaged in Krishna conscious activities, constantly relishing the transcendental mellows in relationship with Krishna. He is called perfect Siddha. This perfection stage can be in two ways. One stage by perfection by gradual progress to service by sadhana, or one may become perfect by the causeless mercy of Krishna, even though he has not executed all the details of devotional service. That is Kripa. There is a following nice statement in the third canto, 15 verse 25 of Srimad Bhagavatam, describing a devotee who achieves perfection by regularly executing devotions. By sadhana example, we say a person who is freed from the false egotism of material existence or an advanced mystic is eligible to enter into the kingdom of God, known as Vaikuntha. Such a mystic becomes so joyful by constant execution of regulative principles of devotional service that he thereby achieves the special favor of the Supreme Lord. Yamraj, the mighty superintendent of that, is afraid to go near such a devotee. So we can imagine the potency of advanced devotional service, especially when devotees sit together and engage in talking the pastimes of the Supreme Personality. This is that first praman from the third canto. Those devotees express their feelings in such a way that they automatically melt in with ecstasy, and many transcendental symptoms manifest in their bodies. Anyone desiring advancement in devotional service must follow in the footsteps of such devotees. So if you want to make advancement, follow the Premi Bhaktas Prabhupada say. Now examples. Markande Adaya Prokta Sadhane Prapta Siddhaya. Said Prokta that Markande and other religions, Markande Adaya, have attained perfection, Prapta Siddha by sadhana. Okay, proper said that no one can attain the perfection stage of devotion without bowing down before exalted devotees. Learned sages like Markandeya Rishi attain perfection in devotional service simply by executing such regulative principles of devotional service. So ultimately, one should take shelter of pure devotees and they can attain perfection. And the examples are Markandeya, Yata Shridharme. So now the Kripasiddha example is given. Nasam jati samskaro na nivaso puravapi na tapo na masa na saucham na kriya shubha athapi उत्तम श्लोके कृष्णे योगेश्वि चास्माकं samskaradimatapi. An example of attaining perfection by mercy, Kripa Siddha from the 10th canto, Yata Shri Dashami. These women have not undergone the purificatory rites of the 2 born classes. Nasam Dvijati Samskaro. Nor have they lived as brahmacharis in the ashram of a special master. Na nivaso gurupi. Nor they have executed austerities. Na regulated of the self. Na atma mimamsa. Followed the formalities of cleanliness. Na saucham. Or engaged in pious rituals. Na kriya shubha. Nevertheless, athapi they have found for Lord Krishna, whose glories are chanted by the exalted hymns of Shloki, and who is the supreme master of all masters of mystic power, Yogeshwareshwari. We, on the other hand, have no such devotion to the Lord. Na chas makao asam. Although we have executed all these processes, samskar adi matam api. So who is speaking this verse? Anyone has any idea? Raise your hands. Who is speaking this verse? To whom? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. This verse is spoken by the Yajnik Brahmins about their wives. This is from the 10th canto, chapter 23. Another example. Na kachid abhavat gurur bhajana yantreena abhigyata na sadhana vidho na te shrama lavasya gandho gatosi charitartha charitarthartam paramhamsa mrigyashya padmayo pranaya sinduno dharaya. You are not known to have suffered pains in service of a guru. Na kachid abhavat guru yantarina abhigyata. And you have no trace of exerting even a drop of labor. Na te shama lavasya gandhopi. In following the rules of sadhana. Sadhana, vida, vidocha. They have just got kripa. But you have succeeded. Gatosi charit arthartam. In attaining the river of nectar made of prema. Pranaya Sindhuno Dharaya, coming from the two lotus feet of Mukunda, Mukunda Padma Padmayo, which are well sought by the Paramhamsas. Paramhamse Mridya Shriya. Remembering that the wives of Brahmanas attain perfection of prema by discussing the qualities of Krishna in good association, it is still unclear whether some sort of purification is first necessary for attaining prema by mercy. So these wives of Brahmanas, it is interesting to note they were very close to the border of Vraj and Mathura. They were staying there, and it is said that the Vraj ladies who used to sell fruits, vegetables, they used to go there, and whatever pastimes Krishna would perform in Vrindavan, they would witness, and they used to sing these songs, enacting those pastimes, Krishna enacting those pastimes in the form of songs. And they used to narrate this Krishna Leela to these Yagik wives. The Yagik Brahmins were busy in their chanting and yagyas. So they never heard Krishna Katha. And they got purified, and they had this good association of these Vraja ladies who used to sell flowers and fruits. And ultimately they darshan of Krishna and they attained mercy of Krishna and attained prema. So this is an example of kripa. Thus, another example is given Yatava, which shows attainment of prema with no purificatory preparation. This is verse spoken by Narad to Sukhdev. Narad speaks to Sukhdev this. Prabhupada speaks about the thing now. A person's achieving perfection in devotional service simply by the causeless mercy, this is kripa now, please remember, Atta kripa, Siddha, of the Lord is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in connection with the Brahmanas and their wives who were engaged in performing yagya or sacrifice. When the wives of the Brahmanas were favored by Lord Krishna and immediately attained the love of God and prema, their husband said, how wonderful it is that all these women have undertaken no reformatory performances such as accepting the sacred thread, have not resided in the monasteries of the spiritual master, have not observed the strict principles of celibacy, have not undergone any austerities, have not philosophized upon the observance of ritualistic ceremony. They still have attained the favor of Krishna, which is aspired even by the great mystics. How wonderful it is that these women attained such perfection, while we, although Brahmanas, who have performed all the activities, cannot attain to this advanced stage because they attained the mercy of Krishna. There is a similar statement by Nag addressed to Sukdev Goswami. My dear Sukdev Goswami, you never took the trouble to reside under the care of spiritual master, and yet you have attained such a great status of transcendental knowledge. You never took the trouble to undergo severe austerities, and still, how wonderful it is that you have attained, you have been situated in the most perfect stage of love of Godhead. Kripa Siddha Yagapani Vairo Vairochane Shukha Adaya. Those who have attained perfection by Kripa Siddha are Sukhdev. So, for example, Narad is speaking to Sukhdev that verse. The wife of Brahmanas, Yagyapatni, we saw that. And Bali, the son of Virochan. Virochan also, the son of Virochan also was the Kripa Siddha example. The example of the wives of the Brahmanas has already been given. It should be understood that their perfection was sudden realization of the truth. Suddenly it manifested in the heart. Prabhupada. Sukdev Goswami and the wives of Brahmanas performing Yagya are vivid examples of devotees who achieved the perfectional stage of devotional service by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kripa Siddha. Okay. Ata Nitya Siddha. Any questions about Kripa Siddha and their examples? Anyone has any questions? Any questions, any clarifications? Okay, two questions. So I'll take these questions and end the discussion. Priya Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Pranam. I missed that statement when you said the Vraj ladies were selling fruits and this. Can you just tell in short?
Vraj ladies, this is not a question. The Vraj ladies were, selling fruits and flowers in these houses of the Brahmana Patnis, the Yagik Brahmins, and they were narrating Krishna Katha, and they developed attraction for the Lord, and they had darshan of Krishna and attained Mahaprabhu. Narendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, just one clarification. In
Yes.
sadhana siddha category, the last statement of Prabhupada when he says anyone desiring advancement in devotional service must follow in the footsteps of such devotees. Prabhupada says.
Correct.
And now this such devotee, it indicates the sadhana siddha bhakta.
Such devotees indicates those who are at least at bhava, but Prabhupada is indicating prema bhaktas.
Right.
That means if you want to make advancement in devotional service, you have to follow in the footsteps of these prema bhaktas.
My
Is it
question is,
clear?
Prabhu, does it indicate ragatmika bhakta? No, na?
Already, no. Ragatmika bhakta is the Nitya Siddhas. Please remember that.
All right.
You're getting confused with two things. Ragatmika bhaktas are the eternal associates of the Lord. Now, those
Got
who
the point.
are Ragatmika sadhakas, they follow the Ragatmika bhaktas and they practice their Ragana sadhana. And after Ragana sadhana, they become Bhava bhaktas. And after Bhava bhaktas, they become Prema bhaktas. So they are sadhakas at Bhava bhaktas, they are siddhas at Prema bhaktas. So within these Prema bhaktas, there is a category of attained by sadhana, attained by siddhas and nitya siddhas. There is difference there. So this is again by sadhana they have attained siddhi. You got the point. By sadhana they have attained siddhi. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue the discussion about Kripa Siddha. Kripa Siddha we have discussed already, and the examples we have discussed. Now we'll discuss the Nitya Siddhas. Atta Nitya Siddha we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.